Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Double Stuff Podcast, where we're double the hosts, double the topics, double the fun. I'm Alan.
I'm Dan.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Charity.
And we are in the month of May.
It's gonna be May.
The merry, merry month of May.
I was taken by surprise.
April showers have come, and now it's time for
May flowers. And the pilgrims.
Yes, and the first Saturday in May, I don't know if you guys are aware, but it is World Naked Gardening Day.
Oh, that's up your alley, Alan.
We're starting off hot.
We're gonna have
Gardeners are encouraged to shed their clothes and tend their gardens just as nature intended. This is usually a nudist activity, but anyone who desires to experience a stronger bond with nature can participate. This could be entire families.
It's that Adam and Eve Garden of Eden
Sarah,
lifestyle.
what are we doing here?
Everyone get naked.
Couples, gardening clubs, or groups of friends. Let's just say, hey, listen, if you want to celebrate this day, don't invite anybody else to join you. Just enjoy it. If you really want to get out there and feel the full force of the sun, by all means, do it. Do it in your own privacy. You don't need to encourage other people to join you.
It's a
What
full
is going
thing.
on?
You can bring
the very first suggestion after you is to include your family? That's wild.
You could bring it before the county. They could do like a national Wichita nudity
Yeah, it's going to be an
day.
agenda item.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, Pete.
Also, in your thing, it says if you are going to do that, don't use power tools and don't plant cacti.
I stopped after families joining in. Okay.
It's getting
so
kinda squeamish
yeah,
there.
there are some things you should not do. For instance, you should not plant roses.
Probably because of the thorns, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but okay.
Or the bees.
Or do anything with cacti. You should avoid using power tools. Definitely stay far away from poisonous ivy, and don't forget the sunblock.
So that would,
Okay.
You can't garden then. Like at some point you got to touch something sharp or some sort of plant. So just stay clothed.
Just go out and touch grass.
Yeah.
You still got to be careful where you're walking, though, because, especially now the weather's warm, you get those little prickly things that get stuck to your clothes. And
So if you
all
stand on
those.
your porch naked and don't garden, then you can just stand there and look upon your yard, and that's probably as far as you can go.
Yeah, I
All
do
your
know.
glory.
Well, there are some people that really enjoy, like one of the things that I enjoy at like bulk stores is when they have like bulks, like big barrels of like beans or something. You can put your hand like into the beans. So I think that sometimes it can be a tactile thing.
Wait,
but there
so
are people that like to
sticking your hand in beans?
Yeah.
Like a barrel of beans? Wait, what?
Remember at Sprouts before it closed, they would
Are
have
you
those
thinking that
barrels
these
of
are
like,
wet? No, these are dry beans.
They're like
No.
can of baked beans.
Yeah, no.
What's going back to the bathtub filled with Jello?
What would you rather?
That's my OnlyFans. No, this one you can do in the store.
We got to get these mics, guys. We got to pay. So I don't really have much of a green thumb anyway. So
Yeah, I don't know about what. Somebody take us off nudity.
Okay, how
All
about
right.
let's
What do
go?
you got there,
let's
Charity?
go with May 11th. I'll get us off this horrible roller coaster we seem to be
Yeah.
on. So May 11th is National Eat What You Want Day, and I am
Okay.
all in favor of this. So on this day, you can set your diet aside for a day of indulgence. It's about having one day a year of eating with no regrets. And so this holiday was created by Thomas and Ruth Roy of wellcat.com. I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
it's just a way to enjoy life with your friends and family. So, Alan, this is an activity you can do with your family,
Yeah,
fully
okay.
clothed. Many nutritionists even agree that taking a short break from your diet is actually good for you. So, there's actually a lot of days within this month that can help you. So, if you miss National Eat What You Want Day, May 6th is National No Diet Day, which is kind of the same thing. May 17th is National Cherry Cobbler Day. May 18th is National Cheese Souffle Day. The third Friday in May is National Pizza Party Day, which I'm all in favor of that. May 22nd is National Vanilla Pudding Day. May 26th, National Blueberry Cheesecake Day, which is one of my favorite cheesecakes. May 27th, National Grape Popsicle Day. random. And then May 28th is National Beef Burger or Hamburger Day. So May is all about eating, and I love the month of May now.
This went from a cheat day to a cheat month.
Yeah, cheat life. Let's just do hashtag cheat life and just go on without these diets that are holding us back.
Along with both Charity and Dan were saying, I have a list of other ones. So May 1st, Chocolate Parfait Day and Chocolate Truffle Day. May 3rd, Raspberry Popover Day and Chocolate Custard Day. May 4th, National Hoagie Day and National Crepe Suzette Day. May 8th, National Coconut Cream Pie Day. May 9th, National Butterscotch Brownie Day. May 10th, Shrimp Day. May 13th, Apple Pie Day. May 14th, Buttermilk Biscuits Day. It's also National Egg Month, National American Cheese Month, National Asparagus Month, National Strawberry Month, National Salsa Month, National Hamburger Month, and National Salad Month, which is probably the only healthy thing.
After all this list of junk food, we're going to throw in salad.
So, people making up all sorts of weird stuff nowadays.
So just
you know what else is in May? Poster Day is in May. Clip your fingernails day in May.
You know, if that one was one, I would have given it to you for sure.
It's funny because May, you know, the weather's getting warm. It's right before the summer season. Normally around that time, everyone's trying to get their summer bod ready. But this is just like, eat all the things, get fat. Nobody cares about your summer body. Throw the diet out the window.
So, yeah, nice, healthy, just all the foods. All the foods.
Yeah.
What you got,
I'm
Dan?
talking about the day in May that I celebrate every year.
Okay.
Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
Be with you. Absolutely.
Which is, you know, obviously a day where Star Wars is celebrated. It was basically unofficial. I think it started, it says, in 2011 in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was older than that.
No, it feels like it is, but it's not.
I feel like I would have heard that in high school or something.
When it was announced, it might have been the year after that. I was doing a graphic design class, and we were all designing "May the 4th be with you" posters.
Oh, nice.
I mean, apparently during 2011, when they were doing this in Toronto at the Underground Cinema there, they would do like trivia games, costume contests, mashups of like video mashups and parodies that they would show. And I know there was even times during like Celebration, which is sometimes held around this time, but not always, where they would have fan films and stuff like that they would show off. So yeah, May the 4th is my day. It's my day that I take off, you know, just for me.
for religious
part of your
reasons.
religion.
That's right.
Take the lightsaber off the wall.
I'm going to stay home from my work from home job and
You're not wrong.
celebrate Star Wars.
Although this year Star Wars is coming back, all 9 movies in the cinema, all in a row. I don't know if any place around here is doing it, but they're bringing it back for around like May the 4th. I think I have to look up the dates. I don't know if I can do it. I did 7 of them in a row when episode 7 came out, and I was like, "This is a lot. I don't know if I can add 2 more onto that."
Yeah,
I'm older now. I'm much older than I was. I don't know.
You're
it also did not smell great in that theater by the time we all got done. So
yeah, I can imagine.
had a couple of Jawas in the back.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was fun, but I don't know if I do it again.
May the funk be with you. Okay, I have one.
Smells like a Cerlac pit.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
So on top of that random list of food that I was doing for charity, May 16th, National Classic Movie Day.
Oh, of course.
Oh, this is a great segue, Charity, isn't it?
It is a great segue. Go ahead and tell us about it, Sarah.
So, well, first I'll talk about the holiday, and then I'll bring up this random thing. So May 16th, National Classic Movie Day. So many critics define a classic movie as anything that is memorable or makes an impact on society. That's a very generic definition. True classic movie impacts pop culture, society, and remains a part of our lives. In fact, a classic movie is one that has or will withstand the test of time and remain memorable throughout generations. What they consider the golden age of film began in 1927, so that was around Talking Pictures. 1927, it ended around 1959. It was during this time Hollywood began producing what we consider iconic films. Picture quality and sound had gotten really good by then. Most historians say that 1939 was the most memorable year in history, which is Hollywood's golden year. That's when Gone with the Wind came out, and The Women, and so many other ones. Wizard of Oz. So classic films. This is definitely up me and Charity's alley, mainly because we'll do a shameless plug.
No shame.
Well,
Shame-free plug.
yeah, no, there's no shame in this. But Charity and I have teamed up with. If you guys live in the Wichita area, we have teamed up with the Tallgrass Film Festival, and we do monthly classic movie screenings in their theater, in their local theater. So we started doing that late last year, and we're well into the 2024 season. So we're planning on doing like Psycho in October, and we're doing Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves later on this month. And
Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, not the kids?
well, we did the Ourselves one first,
Okay.
as that one. So we played the last movie first. Because
Well, there's
we
a
don't do
list of
anything.
movies that they're allowed to show, like
Oh,
copyright
okay.
stuff
List
or
and
whatever.
all.
That was one of them. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, we have a big lineup of stuff going on for the rest of the year. Hopefully, it'll go into 2025. But it was cool. It gives us an opportunity to show the community how much we like classic films. And
our series is called Harmons in Hollywood.
Harmons in Hollywood.
Okay.
So nice and original there. So one of you guys should come and make it a sold out thing. Yeah. So, but anyway, in terms of classic films, I know we've talked about this in multiple episodes. In terms of well, even last year we had our little we broke down the top 100 variety films and all that kind of stuff. So in terms of classic films, do you guys have a classic film prior to 1959? So that's what they call that. So between 1927 and 59, any movies you guys like?
Not off the top of the head.
Not really.
No.
I'm trying to think of like
I was gonna
ones
say,
that
sir,
were.
you went a little too far back.
You know what? No, that's not true. M by Fritz Lang. I
Ooh,
really
yeah.
liked.
That was one of Peter Lorre's first American roles, I think, right? No, he wasn't an
He was
American.
married
at the time.
German.
German, yeah.
That's one that that Metropolis is really good.
Yeah, Metropolis.
So yeah, I have a few of them. None of the ones that like people think of as classic films, though.
Metropolis is definitely become probably more of a cult classic at this
Sure.
point. I think M has as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not; those are well known. They're not
Yeah.
like obscure movies or anything like that. Just like you had mentioned, Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz and like those. Yeah, they're fine with me. I liked Arsenic and Old Lace. Does that count?
Yes.
That was a good one. I like that.
was a good
That was fun.
We actually did do that for Harmons in Hollywood
Yeah.
back in October of 2023. So yeah, I showed it to my students for a film class, and they enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you? So you said you didn't have it on top of your head. Go ahead, Charity.
Not off the top of my head.
What, name a classic movie?
Just name any of them.
Prior to 1959.
I was thinking Robin Hood.
Yeah, that was in 1938. Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Errol
Okay.
Flynn, Olivia de Havilland. Yeah. that's a
Not
good
the
one.
Fox one. I was thinking the Fox one.
Oh, well, I mean, I love that one too. Actually, my current Facebook cover is from Robin Hood.
It's from Robin
It's
Hood.
from Disney Robin Hood. Yeah, that I loved that one. Yeah.
We'll have to add that
That's
to
a
our
good
lineup
one.
next year for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That's
But
good.
I like Disney, so
70s are more my classic era.
yeah.
It is now because it's been 50 years.
Well, I did in college, we had to do blogging because blogging was big at that time. And so I did a classic movie blog. And so we had to come up with rules of like, what makes a classic film? And so I think one of my rules was that a movie had to be at least 30 years old.
Okay, I was
for it
going to
to
ask you
be
about that.
classic. Yeah. So that was my personal rule for the blog. But I mean, I think that's kind of a good rule, at least 30 years.
I was going to ask if there was like a time limit because you had mentioned like the definition that they give, and I was like, well, I don't know. Barbie and Oppenheimer were hugely significant last year, and
Oh,
I don't
it's-
know if they're classics
Well,
yet.
I think what they would say it has to be something that has lasted long enough for people to still appreciate it decades later.
So there has to be like some kind of time limit on
so
it.
it definitely made an impact this year, or last year for sure, 100%. But will that maintain 30 years from now?
I think the marketing strategy is memorable, at least.
yeah, that
How they just kind of came together.
it'll definitely be one for the history book. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things like, at least 30 years. Will Barbie be big 30 years from now? I don't know. Oppenheimer, I would say probably so, just because there might be a little bit more historical significance to it. So in terms of being in a moment in time in real life, there might be a few skewing of the story, but it still took place during the 1940s, possibly so. But for me, the thing is that in order to have those modern films, you gotta kind of harken back to the old stuff. But that I could make a whole episode out of that.
I was going to
But-
say, this is going to turn into a movie episode.
But off the top of my head, in terms of movie that I enjoy, I usually go to the musical Singing in the Rain, 1952. I think that's quintessential in terms of like some of the best films in the early 1950s before Hollywood changed in the late 50s. So I'm a big fan of that. Night at the Opera,
Mm-hmm.
1935 Marx Brothers. So musicals and comedies, that's what I go for.
Okay.
So, and I'll stop it there because
Okay.
that can go on for a long time. What about
Yeah,
you?
it's still the month
Well,
of May, so
and
what are we talking about for
May
May?
28th is National Brisket Day, and this is a day that celebrates one of 9 prime cuts of beef. Brisket comes from the chest of the beef or veal. When prepared correctly, renders both flavor and tenderness. While it requires some practice to cook brisket to tenderness, the reward is well worth the effort. Select a well-marbled cut of meat. The fat will keep the brisket moist and add flavor, as my mouth is watering,
I know.
and add flavor to the final product. Season it well and give it a dark sear. This will seal the juices. Cook it slow and cook it long. May is also National Barbecue Month. So
You do a very nice brisket, Alan. I remember you let us taste some of the. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
It's probably been about a couple
I
years
think
ago.
it's
don't
2
know,
years
it's-
ago.
it's on sale at Disney.
Disney? I like some of that.
Let's
Disney
go to
brisket.
Disney. Get some of that Disney brisket.
or
$150 for a sandwich. This is crazy.
We call it disket in the trade.
Well, it's on sale right now, so you can get a pretty nice, decent brisket for $40.
Okay. Well, I know where Alan's going to be going after the recording.
No. I don't have the time for it. I don't have the time for it right now. That's the other thing with a lot
you
of
gotta
barbecue.
dedicate it, yeah.
It's a day. It's a day. Unless you just want to do burgers and dogs and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, it's,
Well, you can do that anywhere. Brisket's special.
that's
Labor
true.
of love.
Yeah.
All right, what you got? What you got, Dan?
This one was kind of this is one I wanted to mention since it was something I used to do. The third week of May is National EMS Week.
Yeah.
EMS stands for Emergency Medical Services, and it was first observed in 1974 when President Gerald Ford declared the week to acknowledge the crucial work in emergency medical care. So these are, trained people that work around the clock, at all
That
hours.
put up with all kinds of things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed.
The amount of patience that it takes.
Literally, the amount of
Yeah.
patience and the amount of patience that it
And the
takes.
amount of patience, yeah. Yeah.
It's a tough job, though. It's good. It's not, well, I never even heard of this before. I mean, I don't know if it's something that's like really well known, but yeah.
It's got to be the worst. Obviously, and for all medical providers, not even EMS, but like in hospitals, when somebody's in pain and they just want it to end, and it takes time, and it takes care, and to be able to just not have your heart broken all the time, it has to be terrible.
It's a very tough job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it for a couple of years, and it's very rewarding, but
Yeah.
definitely very tough.
Yeah.
Very taxing, I can imagine. I don't know if you ever watched a show called Emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know that show kind of brought up the idea of paramedics because that wasn't really a thing, or not too much, or people weren't taken seriously that were paramedics. They're like, they want a real doctor kind of thing. And so a show like Emergency brought back to the fact that, they're mobile, they can kind of do this. And I think one of the things that kind of brought that back in 74 was the show Emergency that brought to the limelight and brought to the spotlight that paramedics are just as effective, and even probably even more so because they're able to get to the scene maybe quicker than a firefighter would, or police, or whatever, something like that.
Well, they can keep them alive until they get to see
they get to the
real doctor,
hospital.
you know.
And interesting, there are different levels of EMTs, or like technicians, and paramedic is like the highest one that typically has to be on a call, like every call. So like I was a B, so my job was basically to assist the paramedic and to drive the ambulance. And then
so
I could
tough
do
job,
some,
too.
basic
Yeah.
like first responder things, but it wasn't like you couldn't intubate, you couldn't.
Like administer? or
Yeah, you
whatever?
couldn't like stick people.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't give them like IV or anything like that. With that, but you have to have a whole team really of people a lot of
Yeah.
times. So
Oh,
because in normal
100%.
times, like EMTs running like teams of 2. So it's a lot of work,
yeah.
and they have backup from fire department and stuff like that as
Sure.
well. But
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
That's really important.
Anyway.
Well, I got one more
Okay,
before
one
we
more.
close out here.
I have one more too.
Okay, Sarah, what do you got?
Okay, I have one more. May 25th, National Tap Dance Day.
Okay.
Because I do tap dance, and so I figured that'd be a good one to bring up. Yeah, Dan is doing a great time step.
just really trying to throw you off.
So So tap dancing is a lot of fun. I think it's the best kind of exercise out there. It beats a treadmill any day. But it's dealing with percussive dancing. It's been dates back to the 1800s. It has some African and Irish background. So incorporating the rhythmic steps, dance steps, and all that, it actually kind of became popular during the jazz age. So early 1920s. So this has been going on for a long time. And my favorite, or a couple of my favorite dancers are Fred Astaire. The typical Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Eleanor Powell, Sammy Davis Jr., some of the best dancers out there.
Fantastic.
And I would like to be that good one of these days.
As you will.
Yeah. You too, Alan. I can see you with a top hat, white tie, and tails.
Okay, so last one. May 18th is International Museum Day. So I'm going to promote my job here. So everyone should go to the Wichita Art Museum. So May 18th, this day has been observed since 1977, and it provides museum awareness to help preserve the world's culture and history. So despite the importance of museums, some museums unfortunately are on their way of becoming a thing of the past because of the declining number of visitors. But famous ones such as the Louvre in France continues to thrive. In just 1 year, 10.2 million people will visit the museum. So May is National Preservation Month for the museum as well. So go to the Wichita Art Museum, keep me employed, look at all the art, do all the things there. There we go.
Right. And if you want to find out how our show is curated, Sarah will
very
let you
nice,
know
Alan. Very nice.
That's really good.
Where to go.
So, after that great segue, check us out on doublestuffpod.com. We got over 200 episodes that you can binge listen to now, so you have no excuse. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Double Stuff Podcast, and of course on Twitter X at Double Stuff P, and that's the letter P.
But we're closed on Sundays and Mondays, and half price on Tuesdays.
It's gonna be